Hey guys, it's Heather from Kell Plan, and this week we are doing a how to plan series where I'm going to be each day showing you how to use one of our planners to plan a life you love. We're going to be starting out with our regular planners like our dated vertical and dashboard planners, but then each day we're going to dive into other planners that we offer, like our reading planner, our self-care planner, our family life planner, our gratitude planner, our faith planner, and even our budget planner that hasn't even released yet. Each day we're going to be diving into different options that we have to help you plan a life you love. So come back every day this week for a video. I can't wait to teach you how to plan. Let's go get started. Hey guys, in this video we are focusing on, in our how to plan series, on how to plan using our reading planner. So I wanted to focus in on a couple of different parts of our reading planner to really show you how you could get the most out of your reading planner. So this is an undated planner. You can track here the books you read throughout the year. And then you have a reading bucket list and a reading challenge. One thing I'm really keeping track of is books that are recommended to me. And then over here, we're actually starting a book club with my patrons. We're starting it in October. And so I'm going to keep up here with those books. So October, November, December, we're going to do one book a month. And I'm just going to go ahead and write those in while we have this pulled up. So here we're doing The Small and the Mighty by Sharon McMahon. And then here we're doing All of Our Tomorrows by Catherine Bybee. And here we're doing Comfort and Joy by Kristen Hanna. And then here I'm keeping up with books that are recommended to me. These I've already read, and I have a ton that people have recommended on Instagram, so I need to come back and fill those in. But there's just so many good reasons to use a reading planner. And you might be like, why? Why do I need to use a reading planner? Well, one reason that I love using a reading planner is it organizes my reading goals. It tracks all of my reading and it helps me monitor them. Whether my goal is to read a certain number of books, to read a certain amount of days. I love that I can write the goals here. Now there's two trackers in this book, and I had someone ask, how are you going to use these trackers? So here you have a daily reading tracker. And then on your weekly page, you also have this weekly habit tracker. So what I'm personally going to do is if I read on the day, whatever my goal is, whether it's just reading a little bit, reading 30 minutes, reading an hour, whatever it is that my goal is that I write here, that's what I'm going to track here if I met this goal. This, I'm going to track, I think, how many chapters I read each day or maybe how many pages, but I'm actually going to write a number in these boxes. So here, this is just a planner that I'm using for content. This is not my actual reading planner because this is set up for January, and obviously it's not January yet. But the book that I'm currently reading on my Kindle is called How to Walk Away. So that's what I'm going to write right here. How to walk away. My reading goal for this week, I'm going to put 30 minutes a day. And then if I meet that goal, I am going to color in the box for that day. Okay, so today's Monday. I've already met that goal because I did it this morning, so I can go ahead and color it in. So coloring it in here lets me know I met this goal. And then I'm going to put an X if I don't meet the goal. So that's one reason I love having a reading planner is I love reading, but as a busy mom, it's just not something that I can always do. So I love that this organizes my goals so that I can keep up with them. And then the other reason I love it is not only does it help me organize my goals, but it keeps me accountable to those goals. So I have my goal right here, and then I'm being held accountable by filling in this habit tracker. Writing down your reading plan makes you more accountable, because when you see your goals, you're more likely to stick to them and find time to read because you want to check off your habit tracker. At least that's how I am. And then the way I'm going to use these is I'm going to kind of journal about how I'm feeling about the book. So right now, I'm going to put, I'm not sure if I like it. Seems predictable. And then I'm going to put her fiance is a selfish jerk. He's literally been selfish since the first page of the book. I don't know why she's still with him. I'm only on chapter 7, but I'm still like, what is going on here? And then I'm going to put, I hope it gets better, because right now I'm not really a fan of this book, but I'm only 6 chapters in, so it could easily get better. So just making a few notes about what I read for the day. Then I could even come in here and I could put what chapters I read for the day if I wanted to track that as well. So maybe I'm just going to put like a 6 right here to let me know that I read chapter 6. But you also don't have to track that. And then, so then every day I could just make a few notes about what I'm reading. And then if I finish this book this week, I'll put in here that I finished reading it, or I'll just put what chapter I finished at the end of the week. What chapter was I on in this book? And then your rating, if you finish the whole book, you can go ahead and rate the book, or you can just put what your rating is so far by the end of the week if you're still in the middle of a book. And then here, I honestly don't have a favorite quote from this book yet because I'm only a little bit into it. But this is where you can put a favorite quote for the book. Another reason I love keeping a reading planner is because you do end up seeing some of your reading habits as the year goes on. So here I like keeping track of how many pages or chapters I read, because then I'm going to start seeing habits. I'm going to be able to be like, okay, I read a lot more on the weekends, or I read a lot more during the week, or this month I didn't read a whole bunch, but next month maybe I do. You start seeing habits. And one reason that I really love is if you can keep up with this, I love seeing these habits by the end of the month or the end of the year, because you're seeing what genre you're reading the most of, and you're visually seeing it because of this color coding. So basically every time you finish a book, you color in the genre of the book so that by the end of the month or end of the year, you really can see what kind of books you're loving. So I love that this tracks your reading. It allows you to see patterns. It lets you see which genres you read the most. I also love that it shows you how long it takes you to read a book, which is something that you could also track here on the monthly. If you're not sure what to track, you could write what day you start reading a book and then what day you finish reading a book. And that kind of lets you know how long it's taking you to finish a book. And you also are going to kind of be able to see that in the weekly spreads too, because you're writing your book title here. So you're going to know like, okay, I finished that in 2 days, or maybe I finished it in a week or 2 weeks, depending on how fast you read. And then I really love my reading journal too. Another thing I love about it is the book reviews back here, because here I get to record what I read, and then I get to jot down my thoughts or my favorite quotes from the book. And it just kind of creates a way for me to connect deeper to these books. And it helps me to remember. I will say I'm really bad about reading so many books so quickly that some books just, I kind of forget about them and they don't stick out to me like at all. So I like that I have this reading journal to remind me like, oh, you really liked that book. That might be worth a reread. Or like, oh, you've already read that book. You weren't a favorite. Don't read it again. Or you didn't really like that author. So I love just being able to keep up with what I'm reading, because sometimes I read so quickly that books just don't stay in my mind. So anyway, that's just a few ways to kind of use this reading planner. You can fill in, again, you can do your habit tracking, fill in your notes as to what you're thinking about reading, and really just journal your reading throughout the year. I can't wait to use this planner next year. This is just an example one that I'm setting up for content, but I'm really excited to set up my actual one for 2025 as well, because I'm back into reading and I'm so excited about it. And if you love reading, I think you're going to love keeping up with it in this planner as well. If you like this video, I hope you hit the like button. If you want to see more of my videos, hit that subscribe button, and come back this week for our How to Plan series, where we're diving into different planners and how to use them. Happy planning!